Hello everyone, my name is Taylor, my middle name is Lynn, and I'm the owner of Mint by Lynn, which is a clothing accessory shop on Etsy, so definitely come check me out. But again, today we are avoiding work for a second time because we are going back to Japan and we are exploring Kyoto and Osaka today. So this is part 2 of my 3-part series of Japan, so definitely go check out part 1. We get our start today at our first Airbnb, and we got up bright and early to catch the 6 a.m. Shinkansen train to Kyoto. We ended up going to one of the guys who work in the train station, and he ended up being super helpful and got our tickets for us. And also, it takes like 2 seconds to get to the train. So that was really nice, because at first he was like, oh, your train leaves in like 5 minutes. And we were like, huh? But no, it was like totally fine. Shinkansen tickets are not cheap, like at all. I think they're about $100 one way per person. We decided that we wanted to spend less time traveling and more time exploring. Once we arrived in Kyoto, we stopped at a convenience store and I grabbed my very favorite pork cutlet sandwich from Family Mart. Guys, I dream about these sandwiches. I miss them so much, okay? We walked all the way to our APA hotel where we dropped off our bags. At first, Julie and I were like, oh, the lights aren't turning on. But then we realized that you just had to put your room key in the thing, which honestly is super, super smart to conserve energy so that when you're not in the room, nothing's on. So we ended up going to our first shrine of the day, which I had found online, and it was down a path that not many people go to. So, you know, it ended up being like a really pretty path because we ended up going past some farms and the people there had said hello to us and it was very sweet. But the shrines themselves, I was like, oh my god, I feel like I shouldn't touch anything here. Because usually there are like little rituals that you can do at each shrine. And while they were here, this one felt kind of, I don't know, there was nobody else there. Things weren't as kept up as some of the other ones we've gone to. Don't get me wrong, it was really cool, but I just felt like I shouldn't touch anything. We still paid our respects, of course, and then we decided to walk to our second shrine. This one was a lot busier of a tourist area. This was the Fushimi Kandakara Shrine, and this was where I realized that wearing a mid-tone color today would be a huge mistake, because mid-tone colors show sweat terribly. This shrine was honestly pretty cool. There were a lot of random things for visitors to do. So we walked around the shrine a little bit and then, whoo, guys, all right. And then we started our long 40-minute climb through the gates, okay? What I didn't realize was that it would be a long 40-minute climb upstairs through the gates. Like, honestly, the path here was so cool to go through, but when I tell you it was hot, Kyoto that day had a high of 98 degrees and sun with very high humidity. I'm glad to say that there were a bunch of vending machines where people could purchase water throughout the path. Like, that's really important. We didn't end up using it because we used our big 100 yen jug. Wow, guys, I had never sweat so much in my life. Like, I am not somebody that drips sweat, and I was dripping sweat the entire time here. I actually had to take some breaks because I was like, Julie, I can't go on, man. I don't know if the top of this big pathway was like a crazy, wow, this was so worth it. But there is a shrine up there and it is really nice. Throughout the ways there are like lookout points to see Kyoto and it is really nice, I will say. But honestly, the thing that is like the most like, yes, was finishing the entire experience. On the way down, we saw this gacha machine for love fortunes. And of course we had to get one. It was our 5th year anniversary. We were like, ee why not? And we ended up being like an actually like genuinely cute message. Our dumb foreigner selves didn't realize that you're only really supposed to tie up the bad fortunes so that it doesn't follow you home. You keep the good fortunes because those are the ones you want, which sucks because we could have kept it, but at least I took like a picture with a screenshot of the translation. But we were like, oh my god, that was such bad luck for us, probably, even though it was like a really cute message, but whatever. We also saw some cats that were there, they were really cute. I don't know. I'm always a fan of finding some cats. Once we did our crazy climbing adventure, we were pretty hungry, and at the bottom there were a bunch of little stalls, and this was where we tried some dango for the first time, and it was so unexpectedly savory. I always thought it was sweet for some reason, but no, it was like a soy sauce based sauce, and I was like, oh, I quite liked it. I kind of wanted to see if I can make some at home here. And we also had another dango that was very super refreshing. It was kind of like fruit based. Definitely give dango a shot. I really like those. On our way to the next destination, we ended up stopping to get some udon and some shrimp tempura. And this was the day I realized I really like shrimp tempura. I was never a huge shrimp fan, but this shrimp was really, really good. Okay. We were now headed to the Higashiyama ward, which was a whopping 50-minute walk away. And guys, I don't know how we didn't get sun poisoning on this trip. It was so bad. We got to a spot that my Google Maps said was supposed to be the ward, okay, the little shopping district, but it wasn't. I was like, where are we? And then I had to walk another 20 minutes to the actual shops. And I was like, there's a Ghibli store that's like in the ward. Put in the directions for that if you're trying to get there, not just the Higashiyama ward, okay? On our way to the actual place, we actually stopped through this little shrine that was actually really pretty. It was a really nice little area where we used the bathroom, stuff like that. We finally got to the place. We got an umbrella because the sun was terrible. And when we got there, it was like crazy packed. Definitely a place you want to go to early in the morning if you really want to experience the area. I was underwhelmed by the entire thing. The Ghibli store was pretty cute, I will say, but like when I say they literally sold the same thing at every shop, I wish I was lying. And the shrine itself was alright. It was just so crowded that it was kind of hard to like take in the experience. And then we did what we should have been doing the entire day, which was taking a bus. To be fair, we didn't have a ton of money left in our Suica card, so we were trying to kind of conserve it. But yeah, at that point we were just like, nah man, we're taking the bus. So we took a bus to the more urban area in Kyoto because there were two shops that we wanted to hit. First we got some ramen. Julie really liked hers. Mine was pretty good, not gonna lie. After, I feel so bad though, because I feel like we looked disgusting, and we like went in, we were like, please give us food, and my eyes were like really red too, from like being out in the heat and the sun all day. I was like, oh, hi. Yeah, so then we ended up going to the two places that we really wanted to, which kind of ended up being in the same little shopping area, which was really nice. So I had found this place on Instagram called This Is Shizen. And honestly, the shop was so cute. It was full of plants and things like that. And basically what their specialty is that they make these flowers. They sculpt these flowers out of a red bean paste. And the guy, when he's finishing your order, he actually like calls you up so you can see and take a video of him finishing, putting together his art. And then I was like, wow, this guy's so talented. I don't know. I ended up getting their Ajisai floral ice cream, which wasn't on the regular menu, but I guess they just had it as like a little seasonal promotion. Honestly, it was pretty good. I would get it again. Then we went to Julie's stop, which was going to the Travelers Company. So Julie has this notebook that she's been building up for a little while, and everything for it in Japan is so much cheaper than anything in the US for it. And they also have like a bunch of stamps, which were really cute, so that added to our journal a little bit. After we finished at the Travelers Company, we ended up walking back to our hotel. It was a little rainy, but it wasn't too bad. And we both decided that after that crazy day in the heat that we needed to take a rest day because like we were gonna get run down real fast. So we actually got up the next day and was like, it's time to feast at the local Family Mart. So we just got a ton of snacks and some ramen, and we learned how to use the ramen machine and did the whole thing, and we just wanted to pig out on some things that we haven't tried yet. So we got a whole bunch of stuff. Here are the tier lists I created because we each were like, okay, we're rating 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. And So I also ended up finding my favorite milk tea of the entire trip here, and then I would try to get this milk tea for the rest of my trip because I knew when I came home I would never be able to get it ever again, and it's true, I will never be able to get it again. And then we decided to head out. It was definitely a little bit of a slower morning start, but oh boy, my backpack is wearing a backpack, and we have a bunch of nasty bug bites on our legs. That's super fun. So we took a bus to Kyoto Station, and guys, when I tell you this was the worst experience I ever had in Japan, this was definitely the worst. We felt so bad too. So we didn't realize how packed the bus was going to be, okay? And we had no way of like moving to the front, but we had to get off, and we had to kind of just like push through to get out. Oh my god, it was so bad. So we had gotten off like a stop before Kyoto Station. Julie wanted to look around and do like the little pathway by the river that's there. Honestly, it was really pretty. I got some really pretty pictures there, and we were finding birds and stuff. When we finally got to the station, we finally started getting our stamps. So at every train station, they always have this little stamp area that you can log your adventures in, and we were finally starting to do it. I don't know why we didn't start it earlier, but so we got our Kyoto one, and then we were ready to head over to Osaka. So they had a train there that was like an hour-ish. It was a really packed train with not a lot of seats, but it's not expensive at all to take the train from Kyoto to Osaka. When we got to Osaka, the first thing we wanted to do was prioritize heading to our Airbnb so we can drop off everything. We got an Airbnb in the downtown Buri area. I know there were a lot of other things we could have done in Osaka, like visit the Osaka Castle and do a bunch of things, but we just didn't want to do that. But you know what we did do? I had a ton of fun in Osaka. This was also kind of like my OMG, I'm gonna collect a million art things. The first place we went was an actual like art supply store, and I got a bunch of these like watercolor pen brushes. I don't know, I haven't used any of them yet. I don't know what I'm waiting for at this point, but I got a bunch of those. I got some watercolor paper, loose leaf ones, because I cannot commit when it's in a sketchbook. It makes me scared. And then we started walking the actual like Downtonbury area, and we were kind of surveying all of our food options because a lot of the places kind of sell the same things here, and we wanted to check out like prices. Where is it more popular? Where should we go? We ended up in this one random little spot. I think we were just so hungry. So the way that this one restaurant worked is that they have like a QR code and you order online and then they bring it to you. But I think our Google translation was slightly off. So the dish Julie wanted, she didn't actually get, because she wanted a big spread of different types of fish sashimi. The one she ended up getting was a spread of just different tuna slices, which she still said was really good, like tuna's good. And then I wish I didn't get so much food. It was just like a tempura plate, so it had a bunch of different tempuras. I wish I would have just gotten more shrimp tempura, honestly. Oh, guys. And then we went to the greatest spot in Osaka. The giant Bic store. Again, I mentioned it in the first video that it ended up being one of Julie and I's favorite stores, and we hit the Bic camera store at every single location that we went to. And this one was by far my favorite because it had a giant stationery section up on top, and I got so many things, okay? Not so many, but enough, okay? So I got Posca markers because they were so much cheaper in Japan than they are in the United States. And I also found these markers. Oh my god, guys, I'd never seen anything so cool in my life. These markers are the coolest things I've ever seen, and that night I went back and researched them, and you can't get them in the United States, so I bought two. After I deemed that the Osaka Bic camera store held my heart, we then went to find some more food. Honestly, we got some takoyaki, and I will say that it was the best takoyaki I'd ever had. I'd had some at some like random food places in Philly. There's no comparison, honestly. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then we also got some milk tea to share, and then we had some fun at the arcade. We then went to the Don Quixote, and honestly, it was insane. The Bruno Mars ad was playing the entire time of him just dancing with the penguin. And so we had timed the Ferris wheel ride to when the sun had just gone down, just because we thought it would be a bit cooler. And honestly, it was all right. We stood in line for a little while, and they gave us this spot the difference thing, which I think is a total scam. See if you guys can find all the differences, because I could not. When we got into the Ferris wheel, so it actually takes you up above Downtonbury. So what you actually end up seeing is most of like the full Osaka city, but you don't see any of like the cool lights and stuff that Downtonbury has to offer. But it was still nice. I'm wondering if it actually would have been a nicer view in the daytime. It was cute, and I think the technology of that Ferris wheel is actually really interesting. Like, I was like looking at all the tech, like the mechanics of it, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. We then made sure to stop by the Running Man and get some pictures with him. And then I ended up finding what I thought was a sticker store, but like totally wasn't a sticker store. So I ended up picking out some stuff, and I thought they were stickers, and then they're actually like iron-ons. So I bought a little pouch for all my art supplies, got some of my little stickers, and then they actually have an area upstairs where you can go and iron everything on. And then we ended the night on a few more food. So Julie wanted to also try some okonomiyaki. To me, it kind of tasted just like a different version of a takoyaki. I think it's because it has a lot of the same toppings and same ingredients. And then we also tried some of the candied strawberries, which I honestly thought, I didn't know it was going to be like a hard candy. I thought it was just going to be like a soft, sweet glaze. So then when I went to go eat it, I was like, this is like chewing on a lollipop. It ended up being really messy. It was okay. I don't think it was my thing though. Then in the end, Julie almost peed herself, but we finally made it to the Airbnb. Yeah, we looked at our loot and was like, hey, we had a pretty good day today. I don't know. I actually really enjoyed Osaka. I think to sum up our experience over the last 2 days, Osaka, super fun. I really enjoyed Osaka. I think it's because we also just wanted to have a chill time. We didn't have like a huge itinerary or anything. Kyoto, I think we tried so hard to really fully enjoy the experience, but with the heat and the amount of crowding that it was, I do wish we had gone on like a cooler season. But yeah, we tried so hard, but I think the circumstances just made it a really trying experience. But I'm still so proud of us doing the stairs and finishing it. Proud of us. Thanks for coming along on the journey. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, all those things, so we can hang out again soon, yeah? Oh, next week we're going to Hakone, and that ended up being my favorite place to go in Japan. So definitely don't want to miss it. See you guys soon. Bye!